essentially, that's what that is. Okay, Romanesque art essentially means that artists from the 11th and 12th century were looking at Roman architecture as models for the production of a variety of architectural pieces. I have been here for 5 years. Teaching a variety of classes, studio classes, art survey, pretty much everything. I started teaching about 13 years ago, and why? Well, it's probably like 1999 or so. I was offered a class when I was in grad school, a studio class, and this was during the summer, and I really enjoyed teaching. I wasn't sure how the class was going to go. I didn't have much experience. I was still in grad school, and I really enjoyed the experience of just being with students and the energy in the classroom. So that was a really great experience that influenced my life. I mean, I'm still doing it today. So that's how I got involved into teaching. Oh, the connection in the interaction with students. That's the most gratifying thing about teaching. So many of them. Let me see if I can think of. I can talk about artists, maybe a couple artists. Tara Donovan, she's a contemporary artist. She does installation work, dealing with the mass production of objects and sort of questioning consumer society and questioning consumption and so on and so forth, and trying to really get the audience to think about these issues. So that's one of the artists that I respond to. So. Practicing drawing and painting and sculpture, so that's what I do. I mean, that's and that side of what I do is also connected to teaching. So one thing informs the other. So when I'm in the studio making stuff and I come up with something new, that I bring that into the classroom when possible. Or vice versa. Sometimes I see things happening in the classroom that really stimulate me visually as an artist, and then I bring that into the studio as well. So it's that dynamic that I enjoy. Well, I teach in 4 colleges, so I'm kind of all over the place, and I teach a whole variety of classes. Here at Westfield State, I teach painting too. I teach drawing, design fundamentals, art survey. But again, at Springfield College, Manchester Community College, I also teach a whole variety of courses. So, very busy, as you can imagine. I do have my own studio. I've had multiple studios over the years. Right now I don't have a lot of space, so I'm working in the basement. So trying to keep things economical, efficient, trying to waste less material, and trying to think about how can I make artwork that is in tune with what's going on environmentally right now. I mean, I think that's a major, very important thing. You know, I still drive my car, unfortunately, but if I could, if I can think of ways to minimize the wastes, I think that's a significant thing. Drawing. I mean, drawing, painting, trying to combine the two. Again, finding ways of minimizing material. Like, for example, oil paints are fantastic. They work really well, but it's a fat medium. You have to use a lot of it. It's not great because you're breathing all these fumes and it's just not a good medium, I would say, for, especially if you think about what's going on environmentally, like I mentioned earlier. But I enjoy the process. I enjoy applying paint on a surface and modifying that surface in some way. How do you take painting and still make something that is visually interesting? And it's all information. You know, it's, you know, anything you make is information in the studio. So either it's three-dimensional or two-dimensional, it's still information. So so taking the painting part of it and thinking of ways of minimizing the fats that exist in the process. In this case, using like inks or something like that. You know, which I'm assuming that if they're not as bad for the environment, they probably are. But again, creating an economy in the studio, I think it's very important. So thinking of ways of just still doing what you like. In my case, trying to like bring out issues like hopefully like poverty, the environment, political issues that emerge that I respond to if I can, if I have the time. Sometimes, you know, it's just a quick drawing in a journal, and that's enough. Doing that, thinking about contents, but also thinking about, like I said, ways of minimizing things so that you're using less material. The Romanesque period basically looks at Roman architecture and begins to sort of recycle a lot of those ideas into buildings that looked, again, very bulky, heavy, and relatively dark inside. So Romanesque is really in the Roman manner.